The morning sun sifted through lace curtains, dust particles dancing like tiny sparks in the quiet kitchen. Dolores adjusted the straps of her floral dress, one her late husband had always complimented, and tied the lavender apron over it. Today was supposed to be different. Her 75th birthday. A celebration she had waited years to feel, one where her children would finally recognize all she had given, all she had sacrificed. She hummed a soft gospel tune, the coffee percolating in the background, carrying its warm aroma through the small house. The table gleamed under the sunlight, dressed with her best china, gold-trimmed and carefully polished, a feast already prepared. Fried chicken, yams, macaroni, string beans with smoked turkey, and a sweet potato pie baked from scratch. Each dish was a whisper from the past, memories of family dinners, laughter, and the quiet pride of a mother's work. Dolores glanced at the purple suitcase by the door, still empty of hope but full of dreams. She had spent weeks planning, imagining herself walking along sunlit beaches, feeling the warm sand beneath her sandals. Her son Andre had promised a special trip, a family vacation, something to finally break the monotony of years filled with grief and solitude since her husband passed. She had trusted him completely, even handing over her credit card to secure the bookings, believing he would honor this moment. She paused, touching the handkerchief her husband had left behind, folded neatly in the suitcase. A silent prayer escaped her lips. Let them come. Let them see me. Let this day be remembered. Her chest swelled with anticipation, and the bittersweet ache of hope mingled with fear. The clock ticked loudly. 5 o'clock. She set the table for 5, including herself, imagining her daughter-in-law Brianna and granddaughter Amani arriving. Maybe Tyrell, the kind boy next door, would stop by. She smoothed the curls in her hair, added a touch of lipstick, and lit the tall candles she usually reserved for Easter. The house smelled like love, like devotion, like memories she had painstakingly preserved over decades. As evening approached, she watched the street outside the window. Shadows lengthened, and the air grew cooler. She checked her watch again. 6, 7, 8. Her heart sank slightly each time she peeked at the empty driveway. She tried to believe in the tiny excuses: traffic, a lost phone, a sudden emergency. But deep down, a gnawing certainty began to form. By 9, the candles were half melted, the food lukewarm, and Dolores sat alone, hands folded over her lap, staring at the dollar store birthday card she had bought herself weeks ago. You're still glowing in pink glitter. She traced the sparkles with her finger, each one feeling like a tiny lie. Her chest tightened as tears slid silently down her face. Not a wail, not a dramatic cry, just the quiet unraveling of hope long held. The world outside continued, indifferent, while she sat in the dim candlelight, wrapped in the ache of loneliness. Tonight, her 75th birthday was not what she had dreamed. It was a lesson she hadn't expected, and one that would change her forever. The next morning, the house was still. Not peaceful, but hollow, filled with the echoes of her unanswered hopes. Dolores sat on the edge of her bed, eyes fixed on the purple suitcase. She had packed it with care: sundress, sandals, handkerchief, even a small bag of toiletries, yet it felt like a vessel of disappointment, a reminder of trust betrayed. Tyrell knocked softly at the door, 2 quick taps. She hesitated, then peeked through the curtain. The boy from next door, polite and thoughtful, held a small grocery bag. Got you that lemon dish soap you mentioned? He asked, smiling. Dolores felt a pang of warmth. At least someone remembered. She invited him in, and he quietly began helping her with her old smartphone, fixing frozen apps while she wiped the counter to keep her hands busy. Eventually, he noticed the newsfeed open on her phone. Did you say your son was planning a trip? Tyrell asked gently. Dolores nodded. He hesitated, then showed her a picture. There it was, white sand, blue water, her family in matching vacation shirts, smiling under the sun. The caption glowed mockingly, much needed reset sun with face #infamily #no drama, just sunshine. Her hands shook as she scrolled through the images. Vacation, luxury, laughter, all funded by her, all without her presence. Tyrell didn't speak. He simply sat beside her, offering silent support. It stung more than anything. Someone who owed her nothing held her grief more tenderly than the ones who owed her everything. Later, Dolores called Nora Blake, a retired judge recommended by Tyrell. Tall, sharp-eyed, no-nonsense, Nora quickly revealed the extent of Andre's financial manipulation. Multiple withdrawals, resort charges, expensive gifts, all taken from Dolores' account. She looked at the screen, realization settling in like a stone. She had been used. No anger yet. Just clarity. She wasn't powerless. She wasn't blind. Nora guided her through the legal steps to regain control. Slowly, the weight of betrayal became a weapon, a path toward reclaiming her independence, her dignity, her life. Andre returned, expecting normalcy, asking for money for a house down payment. Dolores' calm gaze met his unyielding. "You've been helping yourself, Andre," she said softly. Shock flitted across his face. He thought his privilege was invisible, but she had seen every withdrawal, every charge. Her patience, her lifelong generosity, had been taken for granted. Now she was awake. The confrontation was quiet but devastating. Words were carefully chosen, deliberate. "I'm your mother, not your wallet," she said. His protests fell flat. He could no longer manipulate the woman who had raised him. Her action was decisive. She locked the accounts, revoked access, and sought full financial control. This wasn't cruelty, it was liberation. The first real taste of freedom in decades, and the first moment she felt truly respected, not for what she gave, but for who she was. Brianna arrived silently, eyes wide, unaccustomed to seeing Dolores unshaken. Andre, frustrated, demanded explanations. Dolores remained calm. She laid out the receipts, the social media posts, the truth of every misuse. She no longer begged for understanding. Her voice was steady. "This money, these accounts, this house, mine. Not yours. Not your playground." Silence filled the room. He realized the shift. The woman who had always deferred, always sacrificed, was gone. In her place stood a mother no longer willing to be invisible. Dolores revised her will, redirecting her wealth to shelters for elderly women, those silenced and exploited. She stood firm as Andre raged. Brianna faltered, powerless against the truth. For the first time, she didn't feel guilt. She didn't tremble. She didn't apologize. She only felt the quiet joy of self-possession, the relief of reclaiming a life stolen from her. Every detail, the birthday alone, the social media betrayal, the financial exploitation, became a testament to her resilience. A year later, Dolores' 76th birthday was celebrated in warmth and laughter. Surrounded by Tyrell, Nora, and women she had helped through her donations, she reveled in real connection. The pain of betrayal remained, but it no longer controlled her. Her granddaughter, Amani, approached slowly, unsure but sincere. Dolores offered her a plate, not a hug yet. Trust had to be earned. The celebration wasn't extravagant, but it was real, and it was hers. As the sun set, Dolores sat on the porch, blanket around her shoulders, listening to the crickets sing, the cool breeze brushing her skin. She smiled softly. Not because the world had been kind, but because she had found her place in it again, strong, whole, and complete.